All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I was supposed to start like 2 hours ago, and I got absolutely uh, I got I got Jesus Christ, what's the word? Distracted, heavily distracted with some anime shit. Some anime pull up, some anime entrance, some anime epicness, some woo. I got absolutely distracted just rewatching some of my favorite anime scenes. So yeah, I'm starting 2 hours after I literally sat on my chair. What is this one? Naruto pulling up on pain, of course, yes. Naruto! Epic. Did I open anything? Oh, this one. Yeah, I remember that one.
まだやんの
Sasuke
か
Kurama.
落ち着けよクラマ
I remember that scene. I was kind of laughing because I'm like, ah, this poor little boy. He doesn't know what he just awakened. There you go. That's the thing that I wanted to watch. I have, as usual, a ridiculous amount of tab open. I need to clear this entire shit up because I know that it's not good for my computer. But I digress. I digress. So we are watching true crime today, and yeah, I don't know when's the. I think it hasn't been that long since my last true crime reaction. I think. But I've been feeling like I need to insensibilize. Anyway, I need to like ooh, get a stronger mental because these last true crime stories broke me. I mean, it will never beat the Iqbal thing, like the girl whose severed head was found in front of her mom. That one literally destroyed me. Like I am still expecting Stephanie Soo to send me money so I can afford therapy for that one. But the last episode that I watched from Rotten Mango was also because like when children, it's just when the victims are babies and children, it's even worse. It's like an added level of horror. So it's either when like the victim of abuse and violence are babies and children, and or when it's a very gruesome essayed story like yeah, Junko Furuta type shit. That those I can't really handle them. Woo, sheesh. Anyway, but today, what do we have? We have a 16 years old boy caught hunting kids on the internet and running a biggest child torture. Excuse me, a 16 years a 16 years old, a 16 years old hunting kids and running a child torture cult at 16. What the fuck, bro? I think the extraterrestrials need to come and nuke us all. I really believe that mankind was a mistake. Like, and I know that people don't like hearing that, but I don't care. Mankind was a mistake. What do you mean a 16 years old was hunting kids and running a child torture cult? I mean, I'm about to hear about it, but I don't know if I want to. Jesus Christ. Oh boy. All right. Well, today I'm not gonna do a crazy makeup look because I have to film some stuff. Because now that I'm back with an artistic agency, I have now once again started to send self tape and shit. I cannot wait to go back on TV in French Canada, where nobody knows me outside of French Canada, but it doesn't matter. I miss it very much. Also, I need a job. Also, I need money. Also, send me money. I'm poor. Anyway, let's go. Let's go. Whew. We're about to be disgusted. All right, we're starting this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we back. It's on TT.
That is hilarious. That is not the video that was supposed to start. Ah, that's literally one of the 10 billion tabs that I have open. That's fucking funny. It's RTTV. Ah! Anyway, let's go.
Bada bing, bada boo.
This is how they say a zombie apocalypse starts. It's kind of like the movies. By the time you hear on the news that this new virus is spreading that's causing people's brains to turn into neuro jello, neuro pudding, it's too late. You need to notice the early signs, things that don't seem connected, but they're all interwoven together. It's the coffee shop glitch theory. You think
what now?
you're the problem. You walk into your local coffee shop. Your barista has dark circles under her eyes. You think it's Big Coffee's fault. They're overworking her, but she actually says she's been taking time off. They've been letting her get extra vacation days because she's been so exhausted, which is strange. But that day, she gets your order wrong for the first time in 3 years. But not only that, when you go to ask for a change in the milk, you see 5 other people lined up asking for changes for their regular coffee orders. Everybody's coffee order is wrong. Then you see one customer ordering an espresso shot, then circling back to the front of the store, glancing at their phone, looking around, and then shaking their head, walking back in line, and ordering an espresso shot. And then when they walk away from the line, they shake their head and they look confused, and then they walk back into the line and order another espresso shot. They forgot that they've ordered, so that they just went in a loop 3 times, ordering the same espresso shot. What the hell is going on in this coffee shop? Another barista is just staring at the wall blankly while hot coffee pours down the cup into her hand. And so after grabbing your coffee that you normally don't like because they got it wrong, this is the wrong order, you want to visit your family members who's in the hospital. You drive up to the parking lot thinking, okay, the craziest thing is going to be the astronomical price for parking. Is this the price for an x-ray? That's the price for 30 minutes of parking. But this time, when you get to the front entrance of the parking lot, it's blocked. It says parking lot full. You park across the street, you run over with your now cold coffee, and you are told no visitors allowed for anybody. Then who the hell are all those cars that are parking in the parking lot? These are the first initial signs of a zombie apocalypse. Everybody has mental fatigue. Everybody has brain fog. Nobody can get anything right. The hospital is randomly full of cars, but they're not allowed visitors. Everything is hush hush. By the time you see any news of a virus going around online, it's probably too late. That's what they say.
I mean, yes and no. From what I remember from The Walking Dead, mind you, I haven't watched this show. I don't even know when's the last time that I watched this show. But from what I remember in The Walking Dead and in Train to Busan, by the time you hear about it, it's 100% too late. But the whole hospital thing, like at first, usually the army try to quietly take care of things until they eventually fail, and then it's chaos. But the army always try to do something first, like, oh my god, we are the last line of defense. And well, yeah, obviously the last line of defense is not really defending shit because it's too late. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what is going on. And yeah, I mean, in The Last of Us, when they were talking to that scientist, because they had like their first case or like 3 case, I think, of the virus, the cordyceps or whatever, and they were like, "Oh my god, what should we do? What should we do?" Like, and she looked at him and she said, "Bomb," and he was like, "Excuse me, you want me to do what now?" And I remember looking at my screen. I mean, I have a reaction on this very channel of me reacting to The Last of Us, and I was just like, yeah, no, sir. I think you're gonna need to pull up the nuke. Like, it's over. And of course, he was not gonna do that because in his mind, it's like, there's no fucking way we have to fucking nuke the place. Like, come on now. He should have fucking nuked the place. He didn't nuke and didn't bomb, and the whole world went to shit. Sometime you must do great sacrifice. But I do understand why he didn't. I probably would have not done it either because I'd be like, bitch, I'm not gonna bomb the entire motherfucking country. And, well, yeah. But apocalypse, why are we talking about zombie apocalypse when we're talking about a 16 years old boy caught hunting kids on the internet and running a biggest child torture cult. I am very confused about it. So let's keep going.
I'm not really like a doomsday prepper, so I'm not really sure, but that's what the Redditors say. It's the coffee shop glitch. All these things that seem unconnected, unrelated events are actually connected, such as this. In Romania, a teenage guy named Toby is on the phone with his friends. He sees an elderly woman walking in front of him. He's glancing around and he's talking to his friends. I'm gonna do it. One of his friends responds, do it then. Do it. The camera starts shaking like one of those found footage movies, and you hear him running up towards this elderly woman, knocking her onto the ground. And then you hear a collection of very strange noises. A hissing noise, like hairspray, stomping noises, then something that sounds oddly like the air being whipped around, followed by small bubbles, like a jet machine for a hot tub, but like slightly gurgling. He just pepper sprayed, stomped on, and slit the old woman's throat. Then in 2023, a 19-year-old guy from Brazil named Pedro goes viral. He's got a bob, his eyes are half shut, and there's a video of him. Like literally him and his bob, his eyes are half shut. It looks like he woke up from a 3-hour nap that entered the 5th dimension. The video of him is being arrested while reporters are swarming around him, just trying to get an idea of why he did this. He has this perpetual smirk on his face, which seems to piss off a journalist who asks him, how do you feel being a disgrace to your family? Pedro whips around mid-arrest and says, could you have some more professionalism, please? Then a 14-year-old in Sweden gets arrested for attacking a woman with a knife. During his arrest, the only statement he makes is, terror is not about age. Then in Australia, a 28-year-old man gets arrested, seemingly all connected to the previous arrest. A 16-year-old in the United States gets arrested, and they're all connected to each other. Is this the butterfly effect where one person's actions set off a chain of events that set off another person's actions? Is this some sort of trend that's going on? How are they all connected? It's not a zombie apocalypse. It's not even the beginnings of one. It is the 764 cult, one of the organizations that the FBI have reported as being a terrorist organization run by a bunch of teenagers in their parents' house.
Bruh. You know, that shit is terrifying because I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, I don't like, you know, the whole like surveilling kids and shit. Like, as someone who was slightly too sheltered, over sheltering your kid is gonna have the absolute opposite effect on that kid. It's not, but at the same time, when you hear stories like that, you cannot help but ask, were the parent really that oblivious? Or they just didn't care? Or the behavior of their kid was just not a big deal to them? Like, but it also shows that even no matter, I feel like, I don't know, like, if it's something that can happen to everybody. Or only people in a specific type of, like, familial situation and or background. But, like, how? Just how? Anyway.
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support NECMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They are the nation's largest and most influential child protection organization. They have a cyber tip line. It's a platform for reporting child sexual exploitation, and their new Take It Down campaign is a free service to help remove non-consensual intimate imagery from online platforms. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support our growing team, and we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support. As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com. A few disclaimers. Today's case involves pretty much every difficult topic that you can think of. It's going to be in this episode. There's going to be mentions of blackmail, extortion, doxing, swatting, hate groups, animal cruelty, injuries to yourself, terrorism, the distribution of CSAM. I mean, your mental health is the priority. Oh, there's heavy mentions of self-exit, people saying things to encourage self-exit. So please watch. There's a lot of graphic imagery as well. So please watch at your own discretion. Okay. If you need to take a break, it's going to be quite heavy. So with that said, let's get started. A guy named Samuel is crouched down. He's like trying to set up his phone so that he can record himself. He's wearing a white hoodie and his hair is peeking out from the hoodie sides. And it doesn't seem like it's heavy enough because it's currently snowing outside. It's a rather thin white hoodie. Once the phone is propped up on the ground, it's just standing upright on the ground, probably leaned against a rock or something. He sits down in front of it, crisscross applesauce on the pavement, pulls out a plastic water bottle. But it's definitely not water in there. I mean, it looks slightly yellow, which could just be flavored water. But then you look at the consistency because he's moving it around in the video and it just seems noticeably thicker. He opens up the cap, pours it all over his hood, his clothes, his hair, his face, and he smiles at the camera and says, "I'm going to taste the Antichrist." And he pulls out a small plastic tube. Click. He lights himself on fire. It's instant. His entire body is engulfed in flames. Every visible part of his body is on fire. His hair is singeing off. Body parts are slowly getting charred. He's moving around a little bit, likely due to the sheer pain in the beginning, until he ends up flat on his back on the pavement. His arms are slightly outstretched into the air, flexed. And that's when eventually, after minutes, he stops convulsing in pain. It takes like 4 minutes before he's dead. But he's gone now. That's the gist of what Sam's mom knows. Her 25-year-old son went into an isolated area, poured gasoline on himself, and burned himself to death. And he filmed it all. That is what the police told Sam's mom. He set up the camera to record himself. Why would he do that? They don't know. They don't tell her. Self-immolation is typically a form of protest. Sometimes it's protesting a country, a system, or in a lot of cases, when little girls are forced into huge age gap marriages, aka morally bankrupt contracts, they might commit something like this to make their family members feel the highest level of guilt possible. It's to draw attention to a cause or to something. And maybe this worked a lot in other countries or perhaps in the world. And I'm saying this as a discouragement, but it doesn't really work as well anymore because the news cycle is so fast and ever changing. Nobody even really pays attention much to people who light themselves on a fire for a cause. But that doesn't seem to be the case for Samuel. It seems like the method was chosen for how easy it is to get the materials necessary, but also because it's just visually very startling. One nurse says, "I worked with a patient who self-immolated or tried to. These patients, if they survive, they require a multidisciplinary approach to optimize their healing while addressing their mental health. We're not just treating burns, we're treating profound despair." It is probably one of the worst ways to go. And the video of him doing that, lighting himself on fire, does start circulating on Discord. And it would not be for a really long time before Sam's mom knows what's on that video, because it's not just a video of his passing. There's so much more to it. It's not a video that he recorded and was saved onto his phone. It was a video that was live streamed. And there are people talking as Samuel is self-exiting to detail one of the most disturbing videos on Discord, which is kind of saying a lot. And it's not disturbing because not only does it capture him convulsing on the floor while completely swallowed up by these angry red flames, but because there are at least 29 people watching this live stream talking to him on this Discord server. They're not calling the police. They're not calling for medical help so that they can save him. They're laughing. And they're laughing, "We did it. This is so funny. That's the worst death possible, bro. Yeah, go 764. But the most jarring portion of the Discord live stream is where you hear this very young, very soft voice. A 15-year-old girl who is the mastermind of all of this. She shouts, "Shout out to fucking 764. There are so many global operations trying to take down 764. The US, Canada, there's 16 separate European countries participating in them. There's Operation Dark Rooms, Operation Discordia, Operation Autumn Shield, Operation Restore Justice. Every single country seems to be fighting it. And it's all because of Fight Club. That's how it starts. The Fight Club to Incel Pipeline. Fight Club is a novel turned movie written by Chuck Palahniuk. It's a classic, which is technically supposed to have a lot of deeper messaging about consumerism, capitalism, and toxic masculinity. And Chuck Palahniuk is a fantastic writer. But the incels have taken it and decided that this is going to be their holy Bible. And I don't even think it's their holy Bible because I don't think they know how to read. I don't know if they're literate. They just watch the movie and act like they understand the depth of it. It is undeniably random. Their misinterpretation of the message seems profoundly alarming. For example, there is a famous quote: "You're not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car that you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You're not your fucking khakis." The original interpretation is that consumer culture takes away your own identity because modern consumer society reduces human identity to purchasing power. And that applies for every single human in a capitalistic world. But the incels, because they didn't see a girl on the screen when this quote was said, they didn't see a girl. So they were like, ooh, that means this is about women and all women care about are money. But that's not what men are. We're more than our bank accounts. It's like they just ran out of the lobotomy office to think this. Okay. Another quote that incels love is, "We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war's a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lies." Incels have taken this quote to mean that the women have waged war against men, stripping them of their traditional masculine purpose in life, which is to beat their chest and run through a war zone with face paint, which you can still do. You could enlist right now. But also read the room, because to compare your life in most, not all, but most places in America, no matter how bleak and depressing we are, the condition right now in America today is not a war zone. And you can't really compare it to that. You can't say your spiritual war zone is as bad as a real war zone. Yeah. That's actually insane. It's the rallying cry of the incels, though. This is their motto. They live and die by this one quote. I feel like they would tattoo it on their left butt cheek. It's the most famous quote from Fight Club now. "We're a generation of men raised by women. I'm wondering if another woman is really the answer we need." Incels use this as proof. They say this is women are responsible for men's problems. Single moms and overt female influence have corrupted masculinity, and men may need to reject female companionship because that's the worst thing that can happen to them. Meanwhile, Chuck Palahniuk is basically writing, hey, these dads who are absent from their kids' lives. But literacy is not in the room with us. Somehow they interpret this to mean women are unnecessary. And yet, we are all the incels can think about. Incels function their day-to-day life with the only thing on their mind, which is women. What does that have to do with this case? Everything.
And the approval of
Because
men.
once you start on the incel pipeline, there are just only a few roads that you can take. And it seems like the most common one these days is the road straight to 764. Michael Spitz is not having a good time. He's really not. All the media outlets, journalists, they're constantly asking him for a comment. And like, what can he say? What is he supposed to say? One of the bigger comments, statements that he repeats is something along the lines of, "I know you guys want to ask me about my son, Kyle, okay? My son, Kyle, was groomed by a woman 20 years older than him. Her name is Tara. She somehow convinced him to move, and she turned him into this little puppet, doing whatever she wants, spiraling into the clutches of a satanic cult. I hate Tara." He just really fucking hates Tara. So I don't know. He's just like, stop asking me. I hate Tara. And no offense, but why does the world care about some random guy named Kyle? He's not even a kid. And sure, Tara doesn't sound like a great person, but there's so much going on in the world right now. Who is Kyle? Does it have to do with the fact that Kyle, Michael Spitz's son, has a viral video where he was shot? The first video of Kyle to go viral is from the end of 2023. And it's of his stepdad threatening to kill him. More specifically, threatening to blow his brains out. Kyle starts recording.
Wait, Kyle's dad trying to blow Kyle's brain out?
Kyle's stepdad. So Michael is Kyle's biological dad, but Kyle is recording a video of himself, and Kyle's stepdad is like, "I'm gonna blow your brains out." Kyle starts recording this whole interaction, and when his stepdad moves to leave, Kyle is following him into the hallway to confront him, like, do it then. I'm gonna show this to the police. I'm gonna show this video. The stepdad decides to play the game before learning the rules because he essentially fucks around and finds out. He shoots his gun near Kyle's face, and you see it on the video, and then you see the camera pan down and these droplets of blood just dropping onto the hallway floor. It is unclear if this is intentional, but he just ends up clipping Kyle's ear. It's a interestingly non-fatal injury. However, during the standoff with the police, the stepdad self-exits.
What?
What the fuck is
was
going
it like
on?
attempt murder, or was it was attempt murder? Like he literally tried to kill the son.
I don't know if he was trying to shoot behind the son's face to make it scary, but it's pretty much
But
attempted.
clipping the ear is like, you are how much apart from
Exactly.
murdering him?
I mean, it
so
was
many
definitely
questions.
attempted murder by the book, and he would have gone down for it. So he self-exits.
Okay, but that's the stepdad. The woman next to him was the mom? Was she on drug? Because she looked very calm for someone who's pointing a gun at her child. Am I missing something? I need to go back real quick. I am confusion. She was very, very calm about it. Like, she didn't seem phased at all.
A video of himself, and Kyle's stepdad is like, I'm gonna blow your brains out. Kyle starts recording this whole interaction, and when his stepdad moves to leave, Kyle is following him into the hallway to confront him, like, do it then, do it then. I'm gonna show this to the police, I'm gonna show this video. The stepdad decides to play the game before learning the rules because he essentially fucks around and finds out
Yeah, but in the frame before, she seemed to be a bit more panicked, but in this one, she doesn't seem panicked at all. And this man is pointing a gun at her son. I am so confused. Ma'am? Also, is this in America? Because that's a very America thing. I don't understand this country or their gun culture, but this is fucking wild.
he shoots his gun near Kyle's face, and you see it on the video, and then you see the camera pan down and these droplets of blood just dropping onto the hallway floor. It is unclear if this is intentional, but he just ends up clipping Kyle's ear. It's a interestingly non-fatal injury. However, during the standoff with the police, the stepdad self-exits.
What?
He shoots
was
Kyle.
it like attempt murder, or was it was attempt murder? Like he literally tried to kill the son.
I don't know if he was trying to shoot behind the son's face to make it scary, but it's pretty much
But clipping the ear is like, you are how much apart from murdering him?
I mean, it was definitely attempted murder by the book, and he would have gone down for it. So he self-exits. And early sentiments when this video goes viral is, what the hell is wrong with this stepdad? Kyle even goes on to Law and Crime to talk about how he posted that video of his stepdad threatening to kill him and ultimately shooting his ear because, I've been talking to a lot of people about it. I've been trying to tell my story to multiple people, but not anybody important. So that's why I'm doing this interview, so I can get the truth out, my side of the story. Because there was a lot of speculation of like, did the stepdad hurt you? Did the stepdad do things to you? And then in the video, Kyle's mom is briefly seen in the hallway with her shorts around her ankles. So everyone's like, ooh, was he like harming your mother? And that's why you stepped in and then he shot you. And Kyle was like, no. I mean, the mother, she was using the restroom and she ran out because she heard this ruckus of like, I'm gonna blow your brains out. And Kyle says, he was just drunk. He was high off his Zanny. He didn't like me. He was an angry drunk. So he got out his pistol and he shot me. End of story. That's it. But then a few months later, another video goes viral. Kyle is FaceTiming his friends when he walks in and finds his mom deceased from an apparent overdose of fentanyl. His friends call the police. Kyle records it. Some people who are talking on the phone with him also screen record it. And it's him sobbing while he finds his mom dead. And those videos start circulating online.
What's the content of the video? Just crying? That's it?
A lot of it is censored now, but you do see like her laying there and just lots of crying and sobbing. And a lot of the conversation, though, starts to change. It starts growing from that first video. There was always like a little bit, a few comments of like, why are we treating Kyle like a victim? Kyle's not a victim.
How come?
People are like, I don't know why Kyle wouldn't be a victim. Nobody knows. It's just like a random teenager in the United States. Nobody really knows Kyle. People thought he was brave for stepping up against his stepdad, and now people think it's sad that his mom is dead. But now the conversation is getting to Kyle is the shittiest person in the room. The day that his mom passes away, another video starts circulating. The viral one of him is him finding his mom and sobbing and having a very emotional reaction. The other one that starts spreading, mainly on Discord, is of him groping his mom's boob, like her chest, when she's laying there dead.
What?
Oh my God!
Time?
Yeah.
Is he sobbing?
Yeah, and he's just like groping her deceased body. Then a series of tweets blow up. I can't believe my ex has gone viral, LMAO. I hope this haunts him for the rest of his life. What he's done to me and multiple other girls and children should haunt him.
What?
What does that even mean? Another tweet from her reads, "This man recording the video, Kyle, posts revenge videos of me, other women, and kids to make money off of us.
Kids
He
is
also
crazy.
uses intimate images and videos of us to sell and commit fraud to line his pockets for drugs. He actively preys on minors to this day. He also extorts children, multiple. He participates in some BS chat room called 764 and grooms children and uses their intimate photos against them. He keeps mine, other women's, and kids' pictures stockpiled on an app called Mega on his phone. He's a fucking freak." Which, this is how, by February, investigators have a search warrant for Kyle's phones where they find 25 albums worth of CSAM. The albums have different names like cut signs or just names of underage girls.
Oh.
A lot of the videos focus on girls injuring themselves and carving his username onto
Another
their
fucking
bodies,
ant room?
or using blood to spell out his username on the walls of their bedrooms. And in one video, it shows a mutilated chicken in the bathtub, and the chicken's intestines have been pulled out to spell Kyle's username. He also has a lot of animal crushing videos, which we've covered in a different podcast episode. It is exactly what it sounds like. Particularly, those incidents always end with the animals being decapitated.
Yeah.
When the police go through his phone, I mean, he's just cataloging, collecting, like a full-time employee with health benefits at the Library of Congress, of all these grotesque CSAM videos, but he's also distributing them with video attachments in Telegram chat groups, on Discord servers, and just talking about how this one is, he's talking about victims that are underage, nude and cutting her tongue. Some of the victims are as young as 12. To give you, in the span of a few months,
What are
starting
we
from
doing?
end of 2023 to February of 2024, Kyle's stepdad is deceased, his mom is dead, Kyle has been imprisoned, and now Kyle's biological father, Michael, steps up to make statements in defense of Kyle. He's just bringing up a random mysterious woman named Tara, blaming it all on her, until Michael Spitz is also randomly arrested. What the hell is going on with the Spitz family? Michael Spitz defends Kyle the entire way through. But not only that, he starts reaching out to one of Kyle's underage victims to convince her to delete all evidence against Kyle
Okay.
and to send Kyle photos while he's in jail. Clean photos, he said. He literally used the word clean. He also gave Kyle the victim's email address so that Kyle could reach out to her and still torment her while he's in jail awaiting his
Okay.
trial.
Okay.
It got to the point where there is evidence, and police write this in a memo, that the little girl tells Michael, the adult, she's 15. She tells him, "Michael, I'm only 15 years old. Kyle has been grooming me for months. I wasn't lying about it. Kyle isn't a good person at all. He claims he's not a PDF file, but he is. When his mom died, he posted pictures of her all over the internet and said he killed her. Everything everyone is saying about your son is completely true. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, but I was just afraid of Kyle." Michael also helps Kyle reach out to another one of his victims, and that victim ends up self-exiting later that year in the United Kingdom. So now Kyle and his dad Michael are in jail, and soon after, another video of Kyle starts going viral. It's recorded in the bathroom, and a girl is seen pushing Kyle's head down the toilet, asking if he's ready. And then she uses her foot to keep his head inside the toilet while she flushes over and over again. It appears he got off on having his head flushed down the toilet.
Is it?
Oh,
So
he consented to that.
Yeah.
it's like
How did we
king.
know that? Like his reaction?
Yeah, and additionally, another ex came forward and said that he liked to consume his own fluids.
Okay.
So with that, it exposed that Kyle has been a longtime huge member of an online cult, and he went by the username Criminaloli, and it's a splinter
Loli?
group of 764 called Harm Nation. Before his arrest, he posted online, "I have a total of over 2,600 victims. My goal is to reach 3,000 before I get feted." Feted is an online slang for basically taken down by the feds.
He said he had 2,600 victims,
Yeah, I don't know how accurate that is, but it does seem like there are a lot of victims.
and he only got 15 to 30.
Yeah.
Likely get out even earlier.
Yeah.
And he was 19.
Yeah. It's called nihilistic violent extremism. People who believe in nihilistic violent extremism, they believe that nothing in life really matters, which it's complicated. Maybe it's a little bit aligned with nihilism. Nihilism, people have very differing opinions about the philosophy, but They believe life is just something that happens. It doesn't really have a meaning. Morals are just a set of arbitrary rules that people made up to argue about, and nothing really has a purpose. There's another Fight Club quote that a lot of these people who believe in this abide by, which is, "You are not a beautiful and unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everyone else, and we are all part of the same compost pile." We just are. We just are, and what happens just happens. Which is a depressing, albeit totally fine outlook on life, as long as you don't really do anything about it, specifically to harm other people. A gloomy outlook on life does not have to impact anybody else. But nihilistic, violent extremists think that there's no point in life, so they're just going to end yours just to make a point, which seems like the coherent thought of a rock at the bottom of the creek. The FBI states these are the people who, quote, that want to sow chaos and facilitate the destruction of society just because. They literally have no purpose for their violence. There's no reasoning. They're not trying to change anything in society. They're not trying to promote a specific outcome. Some threat actors may be engaging in criminal activity solely for sexual gratification, social status, or a sense of belonging, or a mix of any of the other reasons that may not be ideologically motivated. Experts have stated this is pretty bad because a lot of incels have highly nihilistic outlooks on life. They believe that the current social order and hierarchy are unchangeable no matter what you do. So they're just waking up to the matrix. That's what they think. They think that they live in a world manipulated by women and see themselves as a group who has woken up to that reality. And basically they're going to outsmart the game by killing people and being misogynist. I don't know what game they're playing.
Okay. I mean, come on now. Incel logic is not real logic. But, you know, when I said at the beginning of this video, when I read the title, that I would like for the extraterrestrials to come and nuke the planet, I guess that's not nihilistic in the way that I thought this was. Because I've always been a little bit of a... I mean, I thought that some of my thoughts process were slightly nihilistic, and we were like, I don't really believe in God because I don't think that, you know, I don't really care. And I don't really believe that humans are good because of the amount of bad that happens in the world caused by humans. But you see, I feel like I guess the difference between me thinking that is that I wouldn't act upon it type shit. Like, I don't think I did not know that it was that deep. For some reason, I've always had a very, very limited understanding of nihilism. Nihilism? Like, because I feel like the definition of nihilism to me was always just like someone, you know, like someone who doesn't like people. Wait, let me, like, nihilism. Is a philosophical perspective asserting that life is without intrinsic meaning, value, or purpose, a concept that can lead to various philosophical stands from rejection of moral truth to the belief that existence itself is fundamentally pointless. Okay, that's pretty much what she said. But I don't know why. I had a different idea of what nihilism is in my mind. To condemn the show for its cynicism and nihilism. I don't know. Extreme skepticism, maintaining that nothing in the world has real existence. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I guess I was wrong. Maybe I'm confounding nihilism with another word. Maybe I'm confunding with misanthropy. I don't know.
I don't even know what they're winning. I don't think they know either. They strike me as people who don't necessarily have a lot of action upstairs or downstairs. A seemingly unfortunate, deadly combination for young men on the internet. It also is just like an oddly narcissistic view. Most women I know are just like trying to be alive. That's it. We're just trying to pay taxes and read a book and go to the beach sometimes. That's it. No thoughts of male population
and
domination.
Watch true crime.
Not even a slight interest. It's crazy. And one particular group of incels turned nihilistic violent extremist has gotten onto the radar of the FBI and Europol and most nations in the world. 764. The FBI has now called the organization a domestic terror organization. The head of the FBI counterterrorism division says, "We have seen a lot of bad things, but this is one of the most disturbing things that we're seeing." They describe 764 and its splinter groups. So these are groups that start with members of 764 that decide that they're going to start another group, but they're going to maybe niche it down a little bit more. So some are more violent than 764. Some are more focused on younger victims. Some are focused on male victims. Like, it's just a different sectors, and they're all part of one big community.
Is this like at all related to the Nth Room, or is it
In a
they
way.
do similar things but not related?
Similar.
They do similar things, but it's not related. It seems like every single country has some variation of this. But
Pretty
I will
much.
say for 764, they seem a lot more connected.
Like
Nth
global.
Room, it's like sick people going into chat rooms to watch sick things and pay money to see sick things. And if you like sick things, you might end up in multiple different chat rooms with sick things and sick people. But 764 seems like almost like a community.
Like a lot more organized.
Yeah, a lot more organized. There's key figures that everybody knows. Nth Rooms, you have maybe 2 figures that everybody knows, and nobody really even knew them until maybe after the arrest. They became more well-known. 764, they're all known by their usernames. And so you've got key members of each splinter group of 764, and they keep spawning new ones.
Are they still around?
Yeah. The FBI says they are a network of nihilistic violent extremists who engage in criminal conduct in the US and abroad, seeking to destroy civilized society through the corruption and exploitation of vulnerable populations, which often includes minors. The network's accelerationist goals include social unrest and the downfall of the current world order, including the US government. The FBI has more than 250 open investigations into this group. Every single one of its 55 field offices, so they have like a field office in every state and some, all of them have cases related to 764. Every single one of them. They currently assign about 10 new cases related to 764 to a field office every single week.
Is 764 US specific or
It started in US, but now it's completely international. It does seem like it is mainly English speaking. You have a lot of victims in the US, Canada, UK, and Eastern Europe if they speak English. And Turkey had 901, which is a splinter group of 764. So the last case that we did with the beheading, that case with Semi Çelik, he was part of a lot of these groups. And 901 is the splinter group of 764 in Turkey.
Why is it
you
called
had
764?
you had if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you had the Fight Club, like he was playing like the Fight Club music, or he was watching a Fight Club video while he was sending videos to the girl who he would end up killing. So that seems to make sense. Also fucking terrifying.
Oh wait, I feel like you talked about it, right?
No, the founder, the zip code starts with 764. I thought it was something dark. I thought it was going to have like a twisted meaning. It's like living in Los
Where-
Angeles,
Yeah, where is 764?
in Texas. They just took the first 3
always
digits of their zip
Texas!
code
Wait, no, it's not.
and
It's
made
Florida.
764. It's like a weed. You take one out and it just resprouts and resprouts. And the FBI says, we're dealing with a new breed of criminal organizations. It primarily exists in the virtual world, but causes very real harm. So their main objective, 764, is like the Nth Rooms. Nth Rooms. Find children, blackmail children, exploit them into creating CSAM, and once they've done that, convince them to live stream their own deaths. The FBI says
Jesus
they are
Christ.
orchestrating one of the most heinous online child exploitation enterprises we have ever encountered. A network built on terror, abuse, and the deliberate targeting of children. Another FBI agent says it's like trying to catch smoke. These groups are constantly shifting, rebranding, and creating new aliases to stay ahead of us. And their only ideology is violence. Sergeant Lanier and his team show up to this apartment complex outside of Unit 112. That's the unit. And they're talking to a woman named Heather and her daughter. And she's confused, but she's answering all their questions. I mean, yeah, we have a 2-bedroom unit. The police already know that. And I live here, and they already know that. It's Heather, her boyfriend Mike, her underage daughter, her underage son. So the police, they're very intrigued by Mike. Does he go by any nicknames? No, just Mike. Why? Has he ever been in trouble before? No. That's a lie. Well, maybe it's the truth for her, but objectively it's a lie. He's currently serving 10 years probation for a third-degree felony. But the police are here because there were videos being uploaded onto a Discord server, lots of videos, all CSAM. And not only that, the account is operated by the founder and creator of 764, and all the IP addresses are located coming back in to Unit 112.
This is the founder of 764?
Yes.
Mike?
Heather's boyfriend, and she doesn't know it. Is that what it is?
Oh,
When
Lord.
did he move in with you? And she's explaining, well, April of 2021. The videos were being uploaded onto the server starting March of 2021. Which means Mike is not the founder and creator of 764. It's Heather's underage son,
Son, yeah.
And how old is this son?
Jesus Christ.
16. But he started it when he was 15. 764 is a group started on Discord and Telegram, and it's kind of the American nth rooms. The FBI states they probably have thousands of victims, and some victims that they've seen are as young as 9 years old. They say the more gore, the more violence, that raises your status within the group. So nth room, it's more of you post videos, you get money for the videos. This is like you get power and praise by
So
posting.
not even for money.
A lot of these people aren't making money.
They're just sick and
Because they're
twisted.
Yeah, a lot
Children.
of these people are not making a single dollar. There are some who are just in it for the money, but a good chunk of them are not in it for the money.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Like, because
Yeah, they're
there's
like,
a million
always almost
illegal
worse.
things you could do to make money.
Exactly.
And this is beyond that, I think. Yeah.
it's like a badge of honor within some of these groups to actually do the most harm to these victims. They have been described as a network of, quote, young sadists, child predators, and extortionists. Their motto is No Lives Matter, which is now also the name of a splinter group of 764. They idolize death. They seek purification of mankind through violence. In several court documents of 764, it's described by the DOJ as, quote, members of 764 seek to desensitize young people to violence, breaking down societal norms regarding engaging in violence and normalizing the possession, production, and sharing of explicit CSAM. Just take Samuel, for example, who died by lighting himself on fire. The 15-year-old girl behind it is from Eastern Europe. The Washington Post tracked her down, interviewed her. She's completely anonymous, so I can't even tell you her name, even though I would very much like to. We're gonna call her Diane. Diane says in the interview that the day that she essentially egged Samuel on to the point of his death and watched it through the little live stream, she says that was her big break. It was a competition we were in of like who could do the worst thing, so I obviously felt very cool that day.
Wait, is there anything happened to her or
No,
consequences?
she did have to go to therapy, court-appointed therapy,
Oh,
court-mandated therapy.
Crazy.
Wow.
So nobody was in trouble.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the reason is a lot of people who speak English in other countries abroad, and I'm not saying this, that the US takes CSAM and child exploitation seriously, clearly not, right? But a lot of other countries abroad
Look at
take
their
it even
president.
less seriously. And so you'll have a lot of, she was, like her devices were taken from her. They found tons of CSAM on there, and she got court mandated therapy. Whereas a lot of the 7-6 members that are either US citizens will get extradited, and a lot of them are in Europe, try to run, I think. Like the bigger names that are making a little bit of money from the CSAM, and they run a lot of their own servers. A lot of them are getting extradited from Europe. One of them was arrested in Greece, but they're an American citizen. She thought it was cool. You know what else she thought was cool? Her screen name was FMLK. I was trying to figure it out. Like my low life, like what, but that's FMLL. Turns out it's literally MLK, Martin Luther King's name,
bitch.
with F as in like Kim.
Oh, okay.
The ones that are extorting kids, they're getting off on all of this. And she is seemingly one of them, of trying to feel powerful. And I will say, some of them are here for the money. There are messages that were uncovered where people, some members that are higher up, are catering towards an audience, with one of the audience members saying, these are too old. I need them to be about 4 or 5 years old instead of 12. A member of 764 goes by Brad online. That's his nickname. He knows exactly who he's looking for, which is someone young, someone who wants emotional support, someone he can easily manipulate. He finds a 14-year-old girl on Discord, convinces her that they're in love, and for her to send photos without clothes. Victims are chosen by age for obvious reasons, but also because the blackmailers feel like kids are easier to manipulate.
Oh, duh.
So he convinces her to send photos of herself. And the second that those photos are delivered, he is no longer Brad. He is the founder of 764 group on Discord. She's talking to the founder. He's bragging about what he's gonna do to her to his Discord server, saying things like, I got a good target. Girl, I've been grooming since December. This girl will do anything. She's scared as shit. He blackmails her into carving his screen name into her thigh, which is a common thing. It's called fan signing. A picture was shown to a judge of a young girl with the words "No Lives Matter" carved onto her chest. Sometimes it's swastikas, sometimes it's 764, sometimes it's random patterns. Most of the time it's usernames. And the usernames are sick, and a lot of these, they're so deep it's scarred for life. Like, this is gonna be on a lot of these victims' bodies for the rest of their lives.
Oh my god.
Some of them will say like, Brad is a pedo, and they'll make them carve that into their bodies. So it's not just limited to screen names. There's no limit to the vile nature of these individuals. Brad starts forcing the victim to do things like drinking from a toilet bowl. Another thing is flushing their head down the toilet, turn a black bathtub of water red. You can't stop until it's red. Lick sharp objects with blood on there. In one picture, a girl is holding up a piece of paper that says SYN, Sin, and Flar. These are two usernames. And it says Sin and Flar abuse children. And she has her tongue sticking out over the paper and blood is dripping down because she was forced to injure her tongue. I mean, to get these types of pictures of abuse is seen as a brag. It's seen as a flex. It went from people posting their watches on their car emblems to this. This is a flex. Like, there are videos of girls getting unclothed, filming themselves. They're in clear distress. Depending on the video, they will either stare into the camera and repeat demeaning phrases, or they'll just look very zoned out. In one Discord chat, there's a girl streaming and she's crying. She's cutting off her hair and she's begging the Discord members, like, please leave me alone. And a guy's voice just tells her angrily, it's chopping time. I want you to take the hair that you just cut off and I want you to stick it in your mouth.
Okay, get your hair. It's chopping time.
Like, it's just very demeaning. Many are forced to use objects such as knives and bottles in places where they should not be placed. In other video series produced by a group of real-life dementors, a girl is blackmailed into stabbing her cat to death. Another has to choke her family dog. There's one video of a girl sitting on the floor, leaned up against the wall. She's crying, and there are words in blood behind her on the wall. I sold my soul to username in question. I couldn't read the username, it was messy, but there are countless victims that are forced to harm their own pets. That seems to be like a thematic favorite. Dog napping their neighbor's dog, killing it via stomping.
Whew.
A lot of the animals' remains are dismembered and then forced to spell out usernames. One member of 764 does an anonymous interview where they state that the worst thing that they have ever seen is, I've seen kids getting tortured, getting their limbs cut off slowly. So this doesn't seem like it was done by 764 members, but they would find these gore videos online and they would also spread those. Another one is so scary specific, but he says that he saw a man get his head severed and then a shotgun placed inside the severed head and fired. Some say the worst torture comes from girls who have to use sharp objects to carve, like, inside. Another video shows members forcing a victim to swallow razor blades on camera. In other videos, the victims will be forced into injuring themselves and then pouring alcohol all over straight into their injuries. A lot of the victims are minors, meaning that they are doing all of this whilst hiding in their closets. At a lot of times, you'll see them with rags in their mouth, biting down so they don't scream because they're trying to hide it from their parents. And if people are like, why? Okay, the promise is revenge, and it's not empty. There are reports of victims' homes being broken into, a window smashed, a Molotov cocktail thrown inside the house. Thankfully, nobody was harmed. Other reports of victims' homes being swatted. Other reports of parents getting fired because people will send these types of videos to their parents' place of occupation, to their schools, to their churches, to their family members, to all of their friends. There was another instance where a victim was pregnant. A member of the organization threw a big brick through her window, and the sudden shock caused her to go into cardiac arrest, and she lost her baby. Oftentimes, members of 764 will send videos of themselves taking random dogs from the shelter and beating them for fun to instill fear in their victims. To this point where you get these types of videos, they already have their addresses. They already have all this information about them. There's an audio message from a member of 764 to his victim where he aggressively threatens her. You fucking bitch. I don't give a what you think about me. Hate me, love me, I don't really care. Trust me, you will regret this every day for the rest of your life. I mean, all I asked was for you to send me some videos and that's it, but no, you wouldn't listen. So this is all your fault. And I know that you won't really feel fear or anything, you know, because you probably think, what can I even do? You don't know. Things won't work like that. You will be very much aware of what kind of person I am. And if you're not, don't worry, because in 2 to 3 weeks or even in a month, you'll definitely see. Some former members of 764 say they regret what they did, such as the 15-year-old girl, Diane, that forced Samuel to light himself on fire. She says very unconvincingly, I feel very bad for what I did. It's something that happened when I was in a bad space. I feel like this is going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
Aw,
I sure hope it does haunt you to the point where you know no peace. It's just kind of wild that she's acting like I made 2 very small mistakes of trying to encourage 2 people to die. And then I laughed about it while I watched it happen. Samuel is not her only victim. The second incident being a 15-year-old girl who she egged on to consume, to suffocate herself, consuming helium.
Helium?
And this is after the first guy?
Yeah. At one point, a higher-up member of 764 messages Diane. He wants more videos of self-exit. And she responds, I've only done 2, sorry, why? I'll do more soon. 3 years later, she now claims to be completely reformed while also saying, people say I make them do it. Everything they do is their own choice. I only help them pick a choice.
No, girl.
Attempts are made to blame 764. She states that 764 found her when she was in a dark place, which prompted her to start putting other people in worse places. The only natural viable option her smooth brain could think of to help herself feel better. She says she would reach out to girls who are posting about how sad they are, pretending like she wants to be their friend. But really, she's looking for cut whores. That's what they call them. Victims of CSAM who injure themselves. And once she has those, she'll manipulate them into sending videos, and then the more videos she gets out of these girls, the more reputation she gets in 764, and it made her feel good, it made her feel cool, it made her feel accepted. Okay. Because at school, she was bullied for being, quote, weird. And this is not a situation where it's victim turned predator or perpetrator, which I still wouldn't really excuse much, but she actively sought out gore pages and joined these chat rooms because she was being bullied in school. She just wanted to feel edgy and she wanted these people to like him. That's how she finds Samuel. She did not intend for him to be a cut whore. She clearly thought he was bigger fish. He would post about how he wants to self-exit, and her only goal was to talk to him for months to get him to follow through on it while live streaming it for them. His post would read things like, I'm very lost, I have no support system. I really think the worst part is not having anyone to talk to. I feel like I should accept that this is the end. Sam gets a random message from a person online and he opens it and it reads, I think you shouldn't. I've been in your shoes before, it gets better. Then another one. This time, hey, I'm looking for some new friends. That one's username reads FMLK. Once they start talking, she says she would keep saying things like, what are you waiting for? When are you going to do it? I think the longer you wait, the worse it is, no? You can do it. He would respond that he's scared. He stayed up all night crying because he doesn't want to go away. And he, quote, doesn't want the story to end. But she would just encourage him. And then after those 2 deaths, she leaves the Discord server. She says, I realize these people are scum. I realized if I keep doing that, my life was not going to be good. But that's not really why she leaves. It's because the police confiscate her phone for distributing CSAM. The same phone has videos of Samuel self-exiting, but they don't do anything about it. She was just forced into a court-mandated psych eval and had to attend therapy twice a week, which was, I believe, paid for by the government. She says that she believes...
this is fucked up. But at the same time, it's like, part of me is like, obviously these people need to be heavily punished. But the other part of me is like, these are children doing things to other children. They are still in their formative years. Their brain is not done developing yet. It shouldn't be completely impossible to reform. I'm not saying it's going to be done in 2 years. I'm not saying it's going to be done in 3 years. But if they're like, let's say 15, by the time they're 30, hopefully by then, they're going to be productive, healthy, better members of society who are fully reformed and fully aware of the things that they've done, disgusted at the things that they've done, and, are actively just doing the absolute opposite of the things that they used to do. Like, because that's how it's supposed to be. You do something terrible, you're supposed to go to prison to better yourself. It's not how the system works in the United States, but in some country, like some of the European countries, the system is actively trying to make sure that this person can go back into society as a good person, a better person. Shit. Yeah, like my mom used to be a federal I don't even remember what it's called in English. It's an agent de libération conditionnelle. I think it's a I always forget what the fucking name is in English, but I think it's a parole officer type, something like that. And she would have the federal one. So she had like the pedophiles, the killers, the extreme abusers, like the scum worst. I remember when I was way younger, I was like, why can't you just put them on the electric chair? You know? Yeah, I was wild. But she said that some of these people actually do atone for the things that they've done. They do end up feeling absolutely disgusted and terrible about the things that they've done, and they become productive, healthier, better person and members of society. Like she told me once, she said that I would show you some people and you would never guess the things that they've done, not because they pretend, but because they really are better now. So like, and she said I will always be proud of my job for those people who really did become better, those people who, so like when I think about children, they are supposed to be reformable. Even though the things that they've done are disgusting and heinous, and I mean, part of me is like throw them under the jail and throw away the keys, but it's different with children. As long as their brain is not done developing, I refuse to believe that they can't be reformed. They just need to have the right environment for that, and the proper help, the proper psychological help, the proper, like they need the proper program to be able to do that, where they will actually finally learn about empathy and shit, like basic human decency and how not to be a fucking useless breathing subhuman piece of shit, so that eventually they can become better. You hear cases like this one and it's like, do we put them all in a wood chopping machine, or like what are we supposed to do when it's an entire fucking international network of sick kids egging each other to sexually abuse, sexually threaten? Just what do you do? Like there's so many, like ah what the fuck are we supposed to do at this point? Because they're not it's not like they're teaching they get that from school. I fucking hope not. So I do understand that. I mean, by the way, this does not excuse the whole children internet act of like age verification, because that's just another way for the government to be absolutely abusive in the way that they control everybody. That's not what I personally I do not agree with this kind of censorship. But I do feel like something has to be done aggressively and fast about the way these kids are just getting influence and end up in those extremely violent pipeline of incel and nihilistic fucking bullshit, because that's very scary, because we all know not all kids have a good home. So that's not good. I really don't know what the fuck can be done, but something has to be done. That's for sure. Because children, they're doing this to children, and they're children themselves. I usually love to hate on adults, but like these are kids, for fuck's sake. Oh my god. This is fucking heavy.
She's a victim in all of this too. Saying one of the older members of 764 must have groomed her because she wanted to make him happy, so she would, do all these crazy things. Not that she would do anything, but like she would make other people do things. She said, if I wasn't groomed, I wouldn't have done those things.
Oh, girl.
And everyone's like, no, you're crazy. The insane thing is Samuel's mom wasn't even told about what happened. She was told by investigative reporters from the Washington Post later on.
Bruh.
Even with FMLK gone, there are so many other people that are forcing victims to carve, drink from toilet bowls, behead pet hamsters. There's always the last demand is self-exit. And one victim says, you don't realize how quickly it can happen. Thankfully, her mom stopped her. Another anonymous 764 member states, watching these types of videos just made him, I don't know, it just made me feel like a type of adrenaline that I guess a normal person can't feel. I don't know how to explain it, but it made me happy, I guess. Another one is later asked by authorities. When caught, they ask him, why are you doing this? He just responds, I don't know, I like the blood. Another one explains, I just like the faces people make when they're in pain, like when they're hurting. I don't know, something about like the faces. Remember Kyle, the one that likes to get his head flushed down the toilet, that had his ear shot by his stepdad? He says, well, I've just always kind of been a psychopath, and I just always wanted to watch girls inflict pain upon themselves for me. My earliest cut sign I ever got was like back in 2016. It was a single K for Kyle. Another member says, I mean, I don't really feel regret. I mean, I don't really care at the end of the day. It's just fucking cuts. It'll heal eventually and it's all gonna be over. Another says, I only joined 764 because my friend, he got me into it, and I was just kind of bored, so I didn't really have anything to do.
How are they talking? Like, are they interviewed or are they just messaging online?
These are the ones that have been arrested. And they're all like, I don't know, I was just kind of bored.
Yeah.
I like
I
the
don't
blood.
understand. But I mean, maybe I'm too old. Like, I'm from a different generation. Like, shit, I'm not a baby boomer. I'm a millennial. But like, when I was bored at 15, what was I doing? First, I was in high school. When I was bored, what was I doing? I was usually picking up a book. I wasn't that deep into social media at the time, but I would probably go a little bit on Facebook and Instagram. I don't even remember when these social media came out, but I'm pretty sure they were out by then, I think. Which I don't even know. But yeah. Like, back then, people, I think, were still going a little bit outside, touching a little bit of grass here and there. But mostly probably read books and maybe watch a movie or whatever. Like, I don't understand how I'm bored, so I'm gonna torture children. No, no. I'm trying to put myself in the mind of one of these sick individual, and I'm like, I feel like it's more than boredom. Boredom, obviously. It's you really did not have the proper like set up an environment for you to succeed in life, because if you have this kind of mentality at 15, clearly you're not happy at home. There's something wrong with you. Like the girl, she said she was getting heavily bullied in school, and torturing other people was her only way to feel powerful. Like, they all go through things that should be addressed and they should be receiving help for, but they're not. And so that's what they end up doing. Like, Jesus. I feel like therapy should be mandatory at this point for every single citizen above the age of fucking like 4 years old. You gotta start early. You gotta start early to make sure that these people don't end up becoming absolute scum of the earth. But I don't get it. I don't get it. Even now, I'm fucking unemployed, and although it's fucking me up financially to be on government benefit, I still don't really think to take the time that I have. The very, I have a lot of time on my hand, and I still don't feel the need to waste it torturing people. I usually just sleep and watch TikTok video and stream, and that's when I'm not applying for everything that I can find on Job Indeed. So like, Yeah. And I thought I had issues. I mean, I do have some mental health issues, but I guess I'm not that bad. Yay. For
Yeah,
the
this guy said
fuck.
that his friend introduced him to it and he was bored. So then he got into it, but then he lost a lot of friends because a lot of his friends knew that he was in 764. So it seems like in some communities, 764 is like a thing. It's not even like a, oh my God, you're in 764? I'm going to call the cops. It's like, oh yeah, that guy's in 764. So like, we don't talk to him.
Oh yeah, he's a weird one.
Yeah,
That's
like
it.
don't talk to him. He's scary. He's like, apparently he's in 764. So he lost a lot of friends that way. And he says, I mean, it kind of made me sad that I lost my friends, but then I got used to it, so I don't really care. That's what makes you sad? He also said that the youngest victims he's ever had is 9 years old.
I don't know.
When my sister
wanna
found
show
out that she was
empathy.
pregnant with my nieces, one of the first things we did was set up a college fund. By the time that they're 18 years old, which I know
I want to show empathy. I want to show understanding, and I want to believe in rehabilitation because a lot of people don't believe in rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is a key component of motherfucking prison. That's the whole point of prison. It's so that you can rehabilitate yourself, so that you can go back into society as a person who can just be around other people without being disgusting. So like, ah, I don't know. I don't know.
the FBI just caught MK Ultra in the United States. And his real name is Keir Anthony Cutler. On his phone, they find folders of CSAM graphic videos of murders that he seemingly downloaded from gore websites, some unknown people self-exiting, which includes children. It's unclear if he was involved in egging on those children, but they were there. And the CSAM is described in court as, quote, Detective Basco located over 700 images of the worst child exploitation he has observed in his entire career. Nearly every image showed the child to be bound or restrained, and in many cases, an element of sadism was observed.
Honestly, these people are way worse even than serial killers. Just amount of victims and the age and the reach and the evilness of these people, and then how many of them get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, not in a comparison of like death. I think that would be hard to compare, but in worse in the sense of it's so hard to track, and they can reach so many more people, and they can cause them to be dead. And I think with a lot of serial killers, just from years, right, is a lot of them have cool off periods, and a lot of them, to some degree, value their lives, and they value the risk of trying to get this fleeting moment of satisfaction by taking another life. A lot of these people, members of 764, when they're interviewed, they just seem like it didn't really even matter. Like the type of CSAM content that they were getting, yeah, it was cool. I liked it for a second, but like it really didn't mean anything to me. It's so like, it's not even like, this is all I've ever wanted in life, so I'm done now. It's like, yeah, whatever. So I'm just gonna keep doing it because nothing's hitting.
It doesn't even feel that real to them.
No.
Probably.
And this is what he's done. This guy named MK Ultra, Keir Cutler, but he's not even the leader and founder of 764.
Oh, how old is he?
19. The founder is Bradley Cadenhead. He is 15 years old when he creates 764, and they have thousands of members who extort these kids to gain status in the group. They have CSAM. They work together to threaten, dox, harass, assault, and ultimately try to drive their victims into self-exiting. The purpose is to be evil. It's not about the money. Money is sometimes important, but pain is the currency. Pain is the goal. Eventually, with enough people complaining online, Discord starts running investigations to cut down on the CSAM that's being distributed. So why Discord and why Telegram is there is no email verification needed for the two platforms, meaning you can put in a random ass email. You don't have to go verify it on your email account. So you could literally just put at gmail.com.
Really?
And then join these servers.
And they did it because of they want to give people more privacy, right? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's no email verification. I mean, I don't think,
I don't even think
I know a
email
lot of older
verification would
people
do
think
anything.
Discord is like a cesspool of crime. And so is Telegram. I do know that both of the platforms are incredibly important in a lot of countries, even outside of the US.
I didn't even know that Discord was like because I've been using Discord for ages. At first, we were using TeamSpeak, I think, so that you could talk to other gamers while you play a game. I mean, that was so long ago. I mean, that was like 10 years ago. I think that I was using TeamSpeak, and then I stopped playing that game that required TeamSpeak. And when I came back to that game, people were using Discord now, so I joined Discord. But I've always seen Discord as just a platform for gamers to communicate with each other and post meme and do dumb shit. Like Discord culture, as I grew up, as I, seeing things, like it was always just kind of like weirdos, a lot of lolicons, which always disgusted me. I was always on the right side of history when it comes to lollies. Uh but yeah, no, I mean, I just always saw this as a platform for gamers. So, which also kind of reminded me of that old, I don't Ava Tyson, I think, like a Mr. Beast's best friend, with like the Discord thing being leaked. And I was, to me, as someone who has been using Discord for over a decade or a decade, I don't know exactly. I would have to check, and I don't feel like doing that. But for a while, um, I remember looking at like the screenshot of what Ava was posting back when their name was Chris Tyson, and being like, okay, because I feel like I've seen these kind of shit so many times. Like, and it was, to me, when people were saying like that's grooming, I was like, gamers have a very dumb, edgy, stupid humor, and in Discord, you don't always know the ages of the people who are in the Discord. Now, obviously, if they, I know, I think there was probably some like difference in that Ava case, but like I was just looking at it like some really dumb, cringe gamer humors. Like, to me, I felt like a lot of it was not, it really wasn't that deep. But it was interesting to see this go out of like the target audience, I guess, in a way where it was seen by people who haven't grown up using Discord and being in gaming Discord, where people just post the dumbest shit for fun or laugh or shits and gigs. And but that's what I've always seen the platform as, just a place for gamers to be, to say shit and post shit. But it was never supposed to be that deep. It was never supposed to be like that. And I knew about Telegram. I knew that Telegram is a place where a lot of people use for extremely disgusting illegal stuff. But Discord, I'm so disappointed and saddened by that. Cause like it really I'm also very happy, of course, that I've never seen these things, because I don't think I'd be able to sleep at night. But to know that this whole thing was happening on Discord this whole time is fucking insane to me. Like, what? Wow. But also Discord, what the fuck is Discord doing? Because like, if they know, they need to be doing way more to stop this from happening. They need to be doing way better than this, because this is bad. This is bad.
For providing privacy for people who might be protesting very scary governments, maybe even in the US. So there's a lot of reasons that people need these platforms. But of course, there's going to be bad actors. So they get on Discord, and we don't know how many accounts Discord found that were spreading CSAM, but we do know 58 of those accounts were all linked to one person, Bradley Cadenhead, or how he called himself, the CP God. 764
Christ.
is also, like I said, the first few digits of his zip code, which was not very creative, rather idiotic. He clearly did not think that the police were coming for him because his laptop was open when he was arrested and he had 20 different images and videos open of CSAM, just like out there in the open. He also had a group called No Feds Paradise where he bragged, I've already been reported to the FBI 15 times and they haven't done shit.
So he created when he was 15.
Yes.
He was caught when he was 16.
Yes.
So a year in, he was caught.
Yeah.
But the group has grown and keeps going.
Yeah. So high up members of 764 took over 764, and now there are even more high profile splinter groups. Harm Nation seems to be one of the bigger ones. There's one called Sewer that's big. Cultist, No Lives Matter is a big one. Maniac Murder Club. That one, to get entry, you have to murder someone and have video proof.
Okay. So they caught the main guy.
Yeah, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
In fact, it actually made it worse.
Really?
Because a lot of these splinter groups, they were trying to up each other. Like, who's going to be the new Bradley Cadenhead?
So it didn't scare them.
No. They laid low for a little bit, but no. Ultimately, it just made it worse. And I think the reason, again, that they're not very scared is, and I don't know, I'm not trying to armchair analyze, but it does seem like teenagers are less prone to understanding. Like, it does seem like people who are maybe 16, 17 are less able to grasp severe consequences.
That makes sense.
So
I mean,
maybe they're
clearly.
not as scared, and it's even edgier that they're getting, quote, feted. Bradley's life story is summarized and presented in court in very simplistic villain origin story-like structure, with random pleas of sympathy scattered around. Parents divorced at 10. Bradley is sad. He has no support system since he gets bullied at school. Bradley drops out of school at 15. His parents clearly are not present, and he spends every waking moment of his entire teenage existence on Minecraft, where he stumbles upon disturbing content, which disgusts him. But also he's intrigued. One thing leads to another, and Bradley goes by the alias Felix and Brad and opens up one of the most disturbing online cult-like communities called 764, where they can sexploit underage girls into harming themselves and providing CSAM. Court documents state that he has been hooked and addicted to violent images since he was 10 years old. At one point, he threatened to bring weapons to his place of education.
10?
His dad has come out and said, Bradley was only 15 when he committed his crimes. I don't want to say it in an attempt to excuse it, but to point out that he was a victim at one point. It seems like he did join this group called the Order of the Nine Angles. They're like a neo-Nazi satanic group.
Talked about them. No?
Yeah, we're going to talk about them a little more, but so this is kind of an inspiration of that, 764 is. He says about Bradley, I pray that he will get the help he needs to heal from what was done to him, and that he will understand what he did to others. I also pray that his victims will find peace and healing and won't continue the cycle of victimizing others. Now, side note, I didn't see any evidence of Bradley being a victim in the sense that he was victimized in the way that he targeted other people, but I did see reports that his home life wasn't great and he was bullied in school, which was very serious and clearly contributed to a mental health decline for him, and he resorted to injuring himself as well. But the statement from his father comes off rather fucking annoying to many netizens. For him to say that Bradley needs to be healed from what was done to him and what he did to others, that's not to diminish the impact of bullying, but to like compare what was done to him to what he's done to others. This kid has posted on Discord, I make is eat their house pets and injure themselves for 4 hours straight, and I got proof.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, the kid was fucking 15. As disgusting as he is, as disgusting that the thing that he did are, and as abysmal the shit that he created is, and its terrible impact on clearly this section of internet culture. The fact that he's so fucking young is unfortunately relevant. He's a fucking child. His brain is not done developing yet, so I just also think that a lot of these kids, like, it's either because of home or because of bullying at school. And if you can't fix the home, at least fix the school. Like, because I feel like too many times when you hear stories of people like that, and a lot of time it starts by because of bullying at school. I feel like if we can at least fix that one thing that has been a fucking issues for decades, if not centuries, bullying. I mean, adults are very good at that. So unfortunately, children pick up on that. And adults be pretending to care about bullying while bullying other adults. So I mean, I think that it's obviously and it's not surprising that children bullies each others because adults are trash when it comes to that. Adults be bullying people openly on a regular basis. Like in the United States, it's systemic and even fucking applauded by the government to a certain degree. If it's against the left or trans people, it's perfectly okay to bully. You feel like so that I'm not surprised that kids are fucked up when you have people up to the motherfucking president of the United States condoning and excusing extremely disgusting and violent rhetoric towards marginalized people and minorities. So it's really just as it's the whole system that needs to be reformed. It's everybody that needs to be reformed. The system, the government, the school, the home. There's so much thing that needs to be fucking fixed and improved, and that where do you start? Obviously, in my personal opinion, you start by the higher up. Because as long as you have a government like that, I'm not surprised that kids are doing crazy things. I am not. You know what? I'm not. I was, but I'm not. Because now that I really think about it, with an administration like this, what kind of role model do you have when you have an administration like this, and when you have parents who support this kind of administration, and then you have news anchors and news outlets and school intendant and school district and governors and senators, and it's yeah. Yeah, no, actually, I think that this country is fucking cooked. I'm just gonna go back to my original thing and say that the extraterrestrials need to come and nuke the planet because clearly mankind was a mistake. At this point, I don't even know where to start. So I feel like we just need, to shut down planet Earth and opening it up again, you know? Maybe a little nuke will calm us down. Maybe a little planetary devastation is gonna, if not doesn't erase us all, is gonna make I don't know anymore. But at this point, I don't know if this whole like God gave us free will thing was a good idea. And I don't believe in God. But if that's the case, yeah, you can go fucking. Oops, I should not say that about people's belief.
He's bragging. He's also posted CSAM that involved a literal baby, an infant that he obtained on the internet. He brags to have collected several terabytes of CSAM material that he would sell and make $10,000 a day for, which authorities state is very unlikely because he doesn't seem money motivated. He seemed sadistic and just pain motivated, but he bragged about it. His Discord mods called him, quote, Felix the CP god. Side note, he also would go by the name Felix along with Brad, and there were FBI found pictures of victims that were forced to carve things like Brad is a pedo, I heart CP, God 764. Weirdly enough, court documents state that he seemed less in it for the money, like I said, but for the power. People thought he was like a cult leader, and he's still known pretty highly in these communities. The judge told him, there is something horribly wrong with you. Horribly. Another officer working this case said, this wasn't the run-of-the-mill CSAM rings. This was a lot darker. There was one video of a woman being held down and stabbed. I mean, this case is awful. It was the worst stuff I've ever looked at in my 6 years of working CSAM. Bradley getting arrested does nothing for stopping 764. They're just trying to outdo each other, create new servers. There's one adjacent Discord server called Sewer, run by a 47-year-old Army veteran named Richard. He would message his victims threats such as, don't make daddy angry, I'll extort you, I have all your information, I own you, you do what I say now, kitten. Does he feel an ounce of remorse or have moments of pause where he
Probably
questions
not.
his morality and the purpose of being on this planet? Although I do think the world would benefit without his existence. No, he brags on Discord servers. I gaslight girls and I make them f***ed up. I got a girl to cut her ass off on camera and they'll kill their pets for me too.
Is he caught?
Yes. Another user responds to him. There's no reason to do that to people. He just responds, they beg for it. Sure, like how you'll be begging for it in prison for them to stop. One can only hope. I mean, if that sounds harsh, the DOJ has categorically stated that the evidence found on his phone was some of the most heinous imagery that they had the misfortune of seeing. And that's just what they had left. He posted on Discord prior to his arrest because I guess he thought that the feds were coming for him. He gathered most of his devices, threw them into a metal barrel outside to burn. He says in the video, bye-bye evidence. And now that video is being used against him as evidence in court. So there's that. The 2 phones that the police were able to seize were found hidden in his air vents. So you like take down the air vent, you put your phones in there. I don't know why a lot of criminals think that's a bright hiding spot. It's really not. They always find it. He does that, the FBI finds it, and they say it's as bad as it gets. They said he was creating hives where he and other predators would just swarm children.
It's crazy that he like got rid of quote unquote evidence, but kept 2 of them.
And then recorded himself getting rid of evidence and then posted it on a platform where the feds, I mean, it seems like the FBI are trying really hard to infiltrate these groups. And I think that's why a lot of these groups have taken on kind of the nth room model where you have to provide CSAM. Which I was thinking about that recently.
I'm thinking about, like, I guess this would be a use of AI that I would understand. In a way where, like, if the feds are working to stop these people and the only way to get in is to post disgusting shit, AI. So they don't, because obviously the feds are not gonna fucking go find a child to hurt so they can enter these groups. Duh. So they would probably gonna try to either steal a video from another group, from another country, and voice over or whatever. Like, that's the kind of things that I hope they're doing. And if not, AI. Finally, AI is useful and not stealing other people's job. Because that's not a job that should exist, you know, hurting children and posting videos of it. So, for this extremely disgusting purpose of, the finding pedophiles and to arrest them is not disgusting, but, you know, for the sad purpose of having to enter these groups, then yes, I would probably actually understand the use of AI because, again, the feds are not gonna fucking hurt people for sport. That's the thing that they're trying to stop, not the things that they should be enabling and or excuse. Again, that is taken out. That is excluding the current U.S. administration because them motherfuckers don't give a fuck. Unless you are a white supremacist who enjoy debating college children for clout. But if you're not,
And I was like, I wonder if, do the feds supply really old CSAM of maybe like CSAM that, you know, the victims are no longer around because, you know, the lifespan has passed. I don't know if it works like that or with the Department of Defense, the amount of money they're spending on AI and other related things. Like, I wonder if they're allowed to create fake CSAM to infiltrate these groups. Because I just don't know how they're getting into these groups. But they're getting into these groups. If you guys have a better idea, let me know. Because I don't know, and I was thinking about it for a really long time. Now, a lot of 764 members, they go on to Roblox. They just seek out little kids who have mental health struggles. And that's just how they work. It's just a bunch of guys. Some of them are underage. Some of them are as old as 40-something. They seek out kids on Discord with mental health issues or Roblox, trick them, and ultimately blackmail them into creating sick videos for them. They literally brag in their chats about how abusive they can get. Some people give out tips. They say, gain her trust, make her feel comfortable, make her want to harm for you. So, I mean, a lot of the victims that they're choosing are people who are already injuring themselves. And now they spin it as like, do it for me because it'll make me happy. And that's how you tap into her emotions and make it seem like you're the only person she would ever need in her life.
I think I have an idea. In a way, we're like, so obviously now that we know that these things exist, because I feel like my parents always, at some point, it was annoying to me because both my parents were kind of working in sort of law enforcement adjacent, which is hilarious when you think about me saying a cab all the time, but that's beside the point. But they were using a lot of prevention, like, oh, do when you hear about when you're like 13 or 14, how to avoid getting enrolled in a gang, when you hear the way they recruit people, uh when like you hear of the things that they do to young girls like me, and why I shouldn't, obviously, what should be the kind of words and the kind of rhetoric that I need to be careful of when talking to people, whether it's online or uh I remember back then being very annoyed at all that useless prevention, but also I never joined a gang. So I don't know. Maybe it fucking worked after all. Thanks, mom and dad. That shit was mad annoying at the time, and I felt like you guys were overbearing. You kind of were, but also it may have worked. Fuck. Yeah, because like I said, I did not end up in a motherfucking gang. But also just I feel like knowing how this group operates and having internet wide, like, we need, the way ads are ran, you need to run internet wide ads that warn people about these groups, where people know on Roblox, on Discord, on, if you are if someone reached out to you with with this kind of rhetoric and this kind of talk, always make sure that you are safe, no matter what that person ends up telling you to do. Always contact the authority, even though sometimes they don't really care or do anything about it. Still do it, so that at least it's been, it's in some sort of record. Talk to your parents about it. Don't be scared to tell your parents about it, unless you're not in a safe environment at home, which is fucking tragic. But like, just tell the fucking authority. Tell a trusty adult. Tell a trusted fucking adult and figure that can help you. Don't, because I feel like a lot, they get fucking, they get uh bullied and blackmailed. And some of these, like, they get blackmailed, and their parents, like in Korea, it's a bit of a different culture because there's like the whole familial shame of it all. But in the United States, it's not the same. In a way, we're like, oh, my family is not gonna lose standing in society if my child gets fucking caught by a motherfucking online pedophile type shit. Where it's not, there's like not this. They're gonna get sympathy, but not shame from society. So the same way my parents did, I think that that's what needs to happen, because it's one thing to hear about these cases. I'm an adult listening to true crime. Children usually don't listen to true crime like that, I think. So if schools, if youth organization, anything that has to do with fucking children, 25 and younger, really, but mostly children, uh PSA and shit, like, maybe it can probably help way more. That would require the government to give a fuck. But I mean, shit, I think that's what needs to happen. Government only care about control and then say that it's about the children. But if they really cared about the children, they would fucking do that. They would try to do something about those cases. They would, it's one thing for the FBI to secretly work on it, but like, the the public at large needs to know about these things. Like, parents need to be aware. Like, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, like a lot of awareness that needs to be raised. so that people know about these things. Because as long as people don't know, then it's gonna keep on happening. Sheesh. What a mess. What a mess.
There are specific guides based on mental illnesses. One reads Bipolar Disorder Guide, How to Manipulate. ED Guide, How to Manipulate. The manuals would detail, quote, feign attraction, draw them into influence, then turn that attention into negative reinforcement and sow self-doubt in order to bring them to the edge of a borderline episode. When they hit that episode, continue to break them down until they seem defeated. Court documents detail a tutorial found in one of the members' houses where it talks about how easily you can get CSAM. All you have to do is get a VPN, create a new email with no name or phone number attached, get a Twitter account, make a tweet with this type of template. They insert the template. Trading now, got loads of stuff. DM me, hashtag. I'm not going to include the hashtag, but there's apparently 3 hashtags that you have to use in order for this to work. Then you add a Discord or Telegram handle because, quote, this makes it way faster. They say if it's your first time, you trick these criminals into giving you a link on the promise that you'll trade, and you just have to steal once because you steal once, then you have a file, and then you can keep trading that file for more files. And by the end of the month, you can get like 200 gigabytes of content,
Jesus.
which is about 30 hours or more of HD video or 50,000 pictures or more. People say it all starts slow. Some of them describe how they will ask their victims for they'll convince them to do dehumanizing things on a slow scale, such as like eating food off the floor. It's not the worst thing to do in the world, but it's definitely not something you would want out there. And then it just starts escalating and escalating. If someone says that they're tired too early on, or they don't want to send a video because they're going to sleep, or some excuse like that, they'll just block them from the server. Either they think it's too much work to continue with this victim, or they feel like that victim will suddenly feel the loss of their love bombing, because it's not even just one user love bombing them. A lot of the times they'll bring them into the group and like 10 members will praise them and love bomb them. And then suddenly it's all gone. So they're like, oh my gosh, well, I want that back. So now I'm going to try to re-enter the group. And now I know I can't say no. One victim says they kept me in a cycle of praise, and then they would stop it, and then they would ask for more just to restart the praise. She was 10 when she starts getting abused. One member says, let's say you're a girl.
God damn!
Because I'm not extorting a boy. This is a member of 764. If I were to, it would be for an actual good reason. But say you were a girl, I would get into your head, I would flirt with you, make sure you're single, and then I'll just act like I love you and stuff, act all lovey-dovey, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I live in your town. And I'm like, oh my God, I know where your area is. Is it by this? Like, just Google earthing things. Oh yeah, we should meet up. And then once you get your address, you'd be like, if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna come to your fucking house and kill you. It's really not that hard. You just gotta figure out the right people to do it to. Another says, it's mostly about bitches that send naked photos and shit online, so you would find their parents' information and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell your parents. You gotta get their trust first. You gotta act like you're not gonna do nothing to them. You gotta promise it and then build up the relationship and then do it.
That's funny to me because like that, to me, would have never worked. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell my parents like, bitch, please do. Please do. I beg. Do it, because if you awaken the dragon that are my parents when it comes to these kind of things, I really wish that you have a valid passport, because there's not a place on planet Earth that you will be able to hide from my mom. Please do. I'll be praying for you, not for your downfall, but I'll be praying, because that's not the kind of thing that you could have done to me and then tell my parents about it. That would have been really dumb for anybody like that back when I was a child to do. Because, yeah, I mean, the part of me that I don't understand because of the way I was raised and because of the job that my parents had, like, that's the kind of things that would have literally just never. But I have very different upbringing. I had a very weird upbringing compared to all my other friends because of the job that my parents had and the things that they knew about the world and all the things that they tried to fucking protect me from, which again I found extremely overbearing at the time, but I guess was necessary for my safety. Obviously, they did that out of love and care and worried because they spend most of their days surrounded by people like that because of their job. So but like even if your parents are not in a sort of any kind of law enforcement jobs, it doesn't really matter. I feel like, oh, I'm gonna tell your parents shouldn't be something that scares children. It should, I don't know, I feel like children shouldn't be scared of having their parents known that they are being abused. Like that's something that I don't understand. Like you should hope that they tell your parents because hopefully your parents can do something about it because that's their job to protect you and to help you and so that's something that I really don't understand. Like I'm going to tell your parents, "Okay, if you're dumb enough to do that, then fucking do it. Thanks. Save me the fucking trouble, I guess." And I guess of the shame that to me I feel like the shame would have been like but maybe for them too is like to realize that you were naive and that you were caught in something that for reasons that are I mean again these children are not from good home obviously because yeah they take very vulnerable kids, very easy to manipulate kids who don't have a good home or school life. But I feel like for them to be able to do that to so many kids, I mean that so many kids are not in environment at home where they can tell their parents about these things, or even if they feel shame and disgust that they got caught in something like this, you should still once your parents know, you should still feel some sort of relief that at least now that they know you're gonna be okay. I feel like that's what it should be like because I can understand like the shame and the self-disgust and the self-judgment and the self-hatred that comes with like realizing that you were manipulated and you feel stuck and you're scared and you are overwhelmed, you're very very young, you're very naive, you don't know how the world works, but your parents should always be your safe space for things, especially for things like this. So yeah, to know that these kids don't even have that is sad. It's very, very, very sad because your parents should always be your fucking safe space. No matter how much shame you feel, you should be able to help, to fucking ask for help to the people who are supposed to love you and care for you and protect you. That's their fucking job. So, yeah.
Another person who calls himself the king of extortion would write mini manuals for other members, which reads, playing into whatever your victim struggles with will lend you the best results. You can abuse the dopamine receptors by making them associate injuries with your voice or you telling them what to do while they're self-pleasuring. This will only build further trust, and you can add possible blackmail if you're looking to extort the victim. Make sure you archive everything they send you to add further to the blackmail, and try to get them to trust you enough that they'll give you their full address to, quote, come over and see them in the future. This opens the doorway for doxing, which is perfect for extortion. They will say things like, I know, and I know all your names, your parents' names, your little brother's name, I know where they work, but I'm not gonna do anything as long as you cooperate with me. These are literal messages that they sent victims. I'm going to f your life if you don't text me back today. I'm going to find you and I'm going to R-word you. One victim was forced to consume her father's ashes on a video chat. Another
No,
victim...
like really, I hear this. I'm sorry, I hear these stories, and it really make me think about how if things would have happened if that was me. I can only think about how things would have been if I was one of these victims. And I kind of want to laugh because none of these threats would have worked. And I'm not saying that because I was smart. I was extremely naive and dumb. The amount of dumbass shit that I've done because I thought I was invincible when I was younger. Insane. Insane. But I was also, because of that, because of this sort of dumb insanity that I had, I feel like that really would have just, instead of like scare me, I think it would have just angered me. Like I think maybe it would have worked at first, but then I'm pretty sure that before things go to the point where I'm injuring myself for somebody else's pleasure, yeah, no, see, you got me fucked up. I would have done something about that because that's also kind of like how I was raised, where like you done fucked up. There's come a point where you mess with the wrong bitch. So I really just cannot help but think about the way things would have happened if I had been in this situation, because they're like, for me, and that's also why most likely I would have not been a good contender for these kind of things. To me, there's like I have a very very small threshold of like, because I've been in bad relationship, I've been in abusive relationship, but there's again a threshold which is very short. Like it's very short. Uh, where it comes a point where I'm like, now wait a minute, wait, I think something is wrong. Like you're not gonna catch me in years long abusive relationship. You did catch me in like maybe a month or two top, because there comes a point where like I'm tired. The only person who can abuse myself, that is me. Nobody else has the right to abuse myself the way I can abuse myself. So that sounds fucked up, but I'd rather me being like very hard on myself and being very demeaning to myself than anybody else. I can't allow anybody else to treat me like shit when I already treat myself like shit. But I ain't gonna, it's the same like when, oh my God, I get to talk shit to my little sister, but anybody else, I'm gonna beat their ass up types of things. Like it's kind of the way I treat myself. Like I can talk shit about me, but I won't let a single other motherfucker talk shit to me about me. So yeah, I it really starts at home with the education and for the school to be a safe space. The home needs to be a safe space. Everything needs to be safe, which is some people should not have the right to have kids, I guess. I don't know, fam. It's fucked up.
She thought she was in love with Bradley Cadenhead, the founder. She just knew him online as Brad. She sent him intimate photos, and from there, the blackmail just started amping up until one day she's live streaming onto the server, holding her family hamster in one hand, and his voice is laughing at her. Are you crying? You hear her sobbing. If you don't take a bite out of it, I'm gonna make you do more than that, okay? Hurry up. Bite the head off or I'll fuck up your whole life.
Oh, Jesus.
Bite the head off or I'll fuck your whole life up. If you don't take a bite out of it, I'm gonna make you do more fucked up shit than that, okay? Hurry up.
She was forced to bite her hamster's head off. Greta's mom.
Okay, my cat needs to be taken care of real quick, which is good because that no. No! My God! I am tired. I don't want to hear the story of the girl who had to fucking bite her hamster head off while crying on Discord like this. I have received some freaking recommendation of other true crime things. Maybe there. I mean, I don't know if there's such a thing as light-hearted true crime. As if it was light-hearted, I don't think it would be true crime. Outside of that Kendra thing, I think that Kendra. I don't know if she treated it as true crime or like Ash Trevino. Like those were very frustrating, but they were not the same. In a way, we're like, yeah. I feel like I need more stories like that. Like it's frustrating things where I can just be, oh my god, she's a terrible TikTok mom. This is not. This is, again, children and babies being involved, or extremely gruesome essay stories. Just, I need less of those. I need more easy to digest true crime, because that, I'm tired. And mind you, I don't watch that every fucking day. But even so, I this is I'm tired. I'm very tired. Mentally exhausted, psychologically fed up, and mentally done. The video is almost over. Thanks God. But
Stopped her from self-exiting. They went to the police, who didn't really do anything. In fact, Greta's school got just call after call about how Greta is a hamster killer, how Greta is all sorts of nasty things. There's also rankings of how members rank victims, with the sentiment being, quote, if you could get a girl that was ungroomed, then groom her for the first time, that gave you extra status. Other people are talking about how it really depends on how many you can get, or the types of messages, or the types of torture. People will say things like, we just want to see girls throw up and then eat their throw up, burn themselves with hot spoons, just like punching themselves for members. But they have rules that they go by. In one interview, a member of 764 says, the only rule that you have to follow is just don't cockblock another person's extort. Like, if someone's already working on a victim, you don't get involved. You just let them do it. One victim describes it as a machine. It's never going to be enough. I mean, as long as they keep you under their grasp, they do it. And there are only two ways out. Your parents find out and you go to the police, or two, you become too old for them to have fun anymore. And one interesting thing to note is these members will also extort each other, with some of them saying, hey, you know what the best is? If you get a 764 member who's an older man that's married, consuming the CSAM, you find out he has a wife, boom, figure out where they live, figure out the wife's phone number, threaten to expose him to his wife. He will pay you a good amount of money. Probably more money than you'll make selling CSAM.
Wow.
I mean, the whole point of these groups is to cause pain and destruction. They just want to hurt people in the most depraved way possible until they self-exit. And if you're not giving them what they want, which is for you to give your life, well, in one case, one 24-year-old man that was part of 764 in Arkansas was arrested for plotting out how to murder a 14-year-old girl who refused to give him more blackmail material. Another man was arrested with him for possessing CSAM and writing on Discord, quote, does anyone know anybody in redacted state that's willing to do kidnappings or shootings? I just need somebody to kill this girl's grandma for me to scare her. I'm gonna get her grandma murked. It'll send the right message. Thankfully, nothing happens to the grandmother, but to prove how serious he is, he doxes her with her full name, CSAM pictures, address, phone numbers, and all the names of every family member. But apparently that wasn't enough either, because she's still ignoring him, and allegedly she gets a boyfriend. He starts posting on Discord servers, if I know someone in Redacted City who would let me stay at their house, I would actually be able to kill her while I hide. That's where she lives. Cops will go on her phone and see what my car looks like. I'm determined to die. If I gotta kill her and can't let her dudes and girls while I'm sick and miserable, I'm gonna live stream it. I want to kill them, her and her whole family, so bad. Just show up at their crib and just shoot 100 rounds in 5 seconds. I didn't want to do anything because I was scared of dying or prison, but now I'm determined to die if I have to, after getting rid of her and her stupid boyfriend. Other members pitch in on how to dissolve bodies in acid, which really only works in movies, but nevertheless, he starts getting a new phone number and harassing her with anonymous messages, threatening her, starts sending her CSAM photos to her family members. He did not get to the point of physically harming her, although she is psychologically harmed, but he was arrested. In another instance, there's a recorded phone call of a girl, a member of 764, on the phone with a guy, convincing him to take more pills.
So there are girls in there too.
Yeah. Some of them are victims turned perpetrators. A lot of them are not. Like the 15-year-old girl from Eastern Europe. And she's just saying, how many do you have? Okay, well, take them. Talking about the pills. Just take them. Come on. It's okay. Are you going to take another one? Literally in that tone. There are reports of a man live streaming himself dying in a closet, another from Canada with a gun, multiple reports of survivors of 764 stating they were forced to watch live streams of other victims self-exiting. There are at least a dozen different accounts of different deaths. The FBI will not say definitively how many deaths are associated, but a survivor states they wanted you in the groups and they were going to ridicule you and torture you until you die. In the UK, a 764 member was arrested for trying to get a victim to live stream her exit. And during the police interrogation, he's asked,
the only thing you're concerned about is if she went through with it and you got caught, not about whether she was dead or not.
I don't think about stuff in that moment. That's just stupid, I say without thinking.
764 has all of these splinter groups. Some of them are bigger than others. Some of them are scarier than others. But also, 764 was inspired by another group. So it's not like, oh, it's only 764 that exists and all these splinter groups. But they were inspired by another group called the Order of the Nine Angles. I know a lot of people call it angels. It's angles, apparently. And the Order of the Nine Angles is a blend of Satanism, neo-Nazism. Yeah, I think I also called it angels as well. It's very confusing, but I'm pretty sure it's angles. But it's a blend of Satanism, neo-Nazism, and a touch of just brain dead. They believe that Western society has been infected by Judeo-Christian religion, and democracy and racial equality are ruining the human race. In order to stop this contagion, the infection overtaking the human race, the only way to ensure the human race continues in the right direction is to completely destroy society. They also believe in magic, which nothing is wrong with that. But they're like, hey, Judeo-Christianism is goofy. Meanwhile, they believe if you see a woman carrying around a severed head, you need to run the other way. Not because she's a criminal, not because you're hallucinating, but because she is a goddess, a deity, and you should run from her because she's very bad luck. And I think that should tell you they are not the brightest in the crayon box. They're definitely the palest because they're very racist, but clearly not the brightest because it's not that believing in goddesses or deities is goofy, but if you have to remind your followers, if you see a woman carrying a severed head, you must run, that is very alarmingly low survival instincts and brain activity. That is what 764 was inspired by. Operation Restore Justice was one of the largest coordinated operations against exploitation in FBI history. Every single one of the 55 field offices was participating. In 5 days, all around the US, they arrested 205 people in association with 764 and associated groups.
When was this?
This was like a few years ago. But even to this day, there are 10 new cases for FBI agents related to 764 and splinter groups every single week. So it's like they had this massive operation. They tried to target all of, I think it was in 2022, 2023, target all of the major players. But now there are new major players. And even like every time that they arrest one, they have an FBI, they put out an alert. And it's like last month they arrested one. They arrested Bradley Cadenhead in 2021.
And what happened to these people when they're arrested?
Most of them will be serving. The ones who have CSAM and collect it, it's like 15 to 30 years is what I've seen so far. And then Bradley Cadenhead is 80 years.
So their main charges is carrying CSAM.
And he was
Distributing
16.
CSAM. And then the ones
God
that are
damn.
interacting a lot with victims, it's a lot of heavier charges. But a lot of them are just spreading CSAM. And they're adapting. One post reads, due to recent fettings and the Telegram founder giving in to the police and giving them higher powers over Telegram, extortion is at a massive halt. We're in a new era, which is very optimistic. 764 is taking a break. A lot of well-known admins like Risky, Trippy, Fail, Refusal, Praise, These are admin names. And like I said, it's different from Nth Room, where they have these key figures that everybody knows. They've decided to take a break due to recent circumstances. I wouldn't advise any new gens waiting to join, as the current moment in time is very hot right now. If you're currently farming content or getting content, I would strongly suggest hold on to it, stay low for a bit, don't upload it until everything has cooled off. Stay safe, people. To clarify, 764 is not disbanding, we're chilling, and any other rumors are false.
Okay.
Crazy. This is back in when the whole operation happened.
Yeah. And they put out alerts like this every time there's like a new wave of federal arrests. They say for every Discord server they shut down, one law enforcement officer says it's like 2 more pop up.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're worse than the original one that they just shut down. Like No Lives Matter. I mean, they idolize death. That's it. They do everything 764 does, but on top of that, they want members to go out and kill people.
I wonder, like, you know how AI is like coming out? Like, I
Yeah.
wonder if that's one good thing
It's a
AI
good
can prevent.
Oh, to track down?
Right, because it's like, okay, one of the limitations is there's so many sick people out there. And the FBI agent is not, it's hard to keep up, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's not enough mods, there's not enough this. Because this is just so alarming that they can just keep getting away with this.
The problem is, I don't know if there's money in stopping it. Because the only AI associated with this case that I was reading about is a father who was arrested for being a 764 member who made AI videos replicated after his underage daughter. So I think AI is actually, like, sometimes with these people, I don't know. I don't know if the government is willing to spend that kind of money, because it would have to be the government that spends that money. I mean,
I'm glad that he was arrested for AI videos, honestly. Like, because I feel like, legally speaking, someone could say, well, it's not real, it's AI. So I'm really glad that it was taken seriously enough to, like, so that this father, this sad, poor, stupid excuse of a fucking father was a. Because, like, see some of your daughter, bitch? Wait, wasn't there, like, a gamer who posted a game on Steam where about murdering gays, where he also had, like, to prove that gays are degenerate and trans are degenerate, he posted see some of his own daughter as a proof. I don't remember who that guy was. He's one of those anti-woke motherfucker. With these people, accusation is always a projection, I guess. Or no, accusation is always a confession. But yeah, because if that happened, I don't know if it was in the United States, but I guess someone could probably fucking tell the cops about him.
who has that kind of money?
Yeah.
And I don't think the government cares. I mean, they care, but I don't think they care that much. It's just crazy how quickly they move on. So there was one highly anticipated launch of a splinter group called 5150, but within 24 hours, that group was shut down because they also monitor the members that are joining their group. And they realized that one of the members had gone in and was watching CSAM without a VPN. So they had their home IP address. So they're like, okay, now we're cooked, as they say. So they shut it down and then they started a new one. But now we probably don't know what the new one is. And it's just getting more sick. Some of the members are taunting and they say, because of all the tension on 764, which a lot of people are trying to draw attention because it shows people what to look out for. But he says, you ever just want a minor in front of people that hate you? Like, they're so spiteful of society. Some of them like the notoriety. They just like how crazy things are. There was one who started threatening a reporter who was one of the first few on the 764 case, and they threatened to R-word her in front of her entire family before killing her and her baby. And there is just one very sick message in one of the Discord servers that reads, for years, we have taken part in countless actions and provocations on social media and in real life. For years, we've had the wrong people arrested, except for those who needed to be caught. We directed them to the wrong people. So we have not been caught for years. You cannot find us. We are everywhere. Our actions will no longer be limited to these. We will go even further. We will create fake accounts, fake groups, fake platforms, and will continue to establish and make it harder for you to find us. You said we can't kill animals, we killed. You said that pedophilia content can't be created and published, we created and published. We will always exist. You cannot stop us. Leave your research and finding efforts aside. You are working in vain. Let's answer the most talked about questions. Yes, we are funded. We are supported by famous artists and politicians, including abroad and domestically. Say what you want, but you can't find it. And because you can't find it, you will not find it. Even if we give you the information, you will not be able to destroy us. We will always exist, and your efforts are in vain. If you catch a group and you close it down, we will emerge with other groups. Our real organization has yet to emerge, and we will emerge at the necessary time and place.
Right.
The FBI Child Exploitation Operational Unit estimates that thousands of kids have been targeted and victimized. She says people are not understanding the severity, the speed at which their children can be victimized. These are offenders that have the ability to change your child's life in a matter of minutes. These online groups are responsible for some of the most egregious online enticement reports that we're seeing in terms of what these children are coerced into doing. Take it seriously. It is believed that Discord removed over 130 servers, similar to 764, banned over 34,000 accounts, but they still keep going. Samuel's former teacher says he was brilliant. He was curious and eccentric, and really, like, all people know about him now is that he self-immolated. But she says a teacher hopes to get one or two like Samuel in their whole career.
Damn.
He was actually valedictorian at his high school and went on to study biochemistry at the University of Minnesota. He did have a big life event at 18 where he decided to transition. He was assigned female at birth, but everything fell apart during COVID lockdowns. He dropped out of university, broke up with his long-term partner, cut off all communications with his family, and the last text message from his mom on his phone reads, "I will always be available for you, my darling." And Samuel's mom, she seems really sweet. She even forgives Diane, the 15-year-old girl.
Oh my God.
She says, I feel this person herself was vulnerable in terms of being conditioned to search for belonging by harming someone else. I hope that she finds a more healthy state of mind.
Wow. She's better than me.
She's saying to do that, you're already not okay. Another victim's mom says, I don't mean to be pessimistic, but at this point in time, it just feels like it's too big. It's just like this disease that has spread throughout the world. It could be the kid next door in their bedroom who is doing the most horrific things to another kid on the other side of the world, and the parents would never know.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the current ongoing case of 764. What are your thoughts?
Bruh.
Let me know in the comments.
Bruh.
Please be safe, and I will see you in the next one.
Oh, bitch, like, come on. Oh my God. Like, I feel like these happen too often. And it is worldwide because we heard about the Antrim case in Korea. Like, the Discord's biggest incel. Like, these cases are insane. So, like, I don't even know anymore. Like, I don't even know. I don't even fucking know. If the government could be trusted, I would probably. If the government could be actually trusted and you know that they weren't doing this for a nefarious fascist reason, I wouldn't be so against the whole age verification thing. But because I know that it's not really about the kid, it's mostly about control and fascism, that's why I'm against it. But you hear cases like this and you're like, would the whole age verification help? Probably not, because people can always use VPN and whatnot. So people will always find a way, basically, to be disgusting, no matter what. Some people just don't know how to not be disgusting. Well, that's that. Yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm tired. I I'm just gonna still keep. I'm gonna keep on waiting for the extra the rest. I'm very pessimistic. So, whew, ciao. I don't even know. Honestly, actually don't know what to say. I'm tired. Like I said, multiple times. I don't know how this can be helped and solved, but something needs to be done. That's for sure. And I just think about like if I ever have children, which I mean I don't know, but like let's say I do one day, I sure fucking hope that my kid will know that no matter what, mommy is always gonna be a fucking safe space. If any motherfucker online is threatening you, I will personally find them and kill. Well, maybe not, but you know, an accident can happen so fast, type shit. You know, because like what these kids are doing to other kids is crazy. So, whew, that's it for today's episode of Get Ready with Me. That was another case of children being armed. That was another case of me being disgusted at mankind. And I guess I'm gonna try and see if I can find true crime that are not that heavy for my mental health. Because I love true crime, but at the same time, Stephanie Soo be talking about some shit that are way too intense for me and my very poor mental health. Possessed Hildebrand. I sat down with a killer, the best. Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. I know I've been like eyeing it. I think I've heard a little bit about it. I think obviously she didn't sit down with like a disgusting killer. I think she sat down with like a dude who killed his abuser. Um, but I will watch it. Maybe that would be actually maybe that would probably be better for me. Next time I do one of my Get Ready with Me, that's probably be the one that I'm gonna watch, to be honest, because I hope that it's just not as. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because I haven't seen the video yet, but I just hope it's not as crazy as some of these stories. So I will probably watch it next time, but not today because I'm done and I need obviously to go cleanse my eyes and my ears with some feel good stuff. So you'll catch me next time, Possess Hildebrand, or watch it on my channel because all my live stream are on my channel. So for those who missed them back when I was live, and that's that. Bye bye. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.